Hello, friends. Welcome back. I'm your host, Rachel LaForce.
I'm your other host, Alex Getlin.
And this is House Rules.
Well, for now.
Yeah. Should we talk about it?
I think let's start that with that news.
Guys, here's the deal. I love creating work for myself. Do you understand? And I love even more when it's all self-produced, so I'm not being fully paid for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a fun thing about me. So we have kind of been gathering some information from different people and kind of like cultivating how folks are responding to our content, as it were. People like it.
Yeah.
The response is, you're funny.
Feedback's been good so far,
Strong
thankfully.
feedback. But what we're finding is it's difficult to reach people. I mean, obviously, like, duh. But I mean, even where kind of this idea, so we're talking about throwing around a hot rebrand. We're talking about going into 2021 with a hot new look.
So let me kind of tag in here for a second. So
Okay.
the show's going to be the same show. We're getting great guests. We got some really fun guests coming up. Same segments, new segments weekly. But what Rachel means is that we're going to be updating and rebranding the show name, the show music, the artwork, and the log line.
Yes.
Because when we started this podcast, we were both in a place where we're like, we have great conversations. We should make a podcast. And we kind of I think I just picked the name House Rules because I was like joking, like it's going to be our house and it's our rules. And there wasn't a whole lot of thought behind it. And we've kind of learned.
Oh, you mean we just started doing something without really thinking it through? Shocker.
Kind of like our relationship. It's worked out so far.
Oh my God. That's so painfully real. But I guess that's worked out. Yeah, you're right.
Trust your gut.
There you go.
So anyway,
That was weird. You did this weird like, hey, there you go. Hey, ooh, ha, ha.
Okay. Anyway.
No, you're right, but it is also the advice I always give people, which is like start before you're ready.
Yeah.
Like you'll figure it out, especially because people, I'm sure maybe to the naked ear, right, being like, wait, you're gonna change the name and the logo and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's not like we have millions of downloads right now. We're on our way.
Sure.
But better to start and then figure out what you're doing. And then how do you, because also whatever we would have named it and or branded it, by the time, but in 2021, when we will release this new, rebrand and all of these things, same podcast, new name, right, is now we know what it is.
We could just call it that, same podcast, new name.
There you go.
No, we will not be calling it that.
Little long.
But we will be announcing the rebrand in January. We're taking our
we'll be launching it.
Launching it, correct. Yeah. Correct. We have some working titles and ideas, but our loyal listeners and viewers, we love you guys. So if you want to throw something our way, if you have a moment of inspiration and you're like, oh my God, this would be a great name, or kind of like explain a log line to the listeners.
A log line is basically one sentence that explains exactly what so traditionally a log line is associated with television or movies. So it's normally what you'll see like in a trailer or something, right? Like right now, a really great log line I saw that I'm like so angry I didn't write myself, so jealous. There's this new, I think it's a show or a movie on HBO Max called Unpregnant.
Yes.
And the show or the content poster is just two girls on the hood of a car. And the log line says, she's a type A without a plan B.
Right.
So obviously, it's called Unpregnant. Okay, something about this. So it's basically telling you like exactly what the content is about, right? And traditionally to let you know who the protagonist, the antagonist is, what are the stakes or the adventure that somebody's going to go on, right? Now, for a podcast, the log line basically tells you exactly what it is, right? Like the bitch Bible. And hers is something like, we're all going to like pal around and like bitch about stuff. It's where, whatever. I can't even get it out. I just realized I was like shitting on it from the top. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that.
Point is, we have a lot of ideas for working titles and log lines. Right. And when we're kind of mulling over them, we might list off our top favorites later. And
yeah, we're going to kind of collect some. Although I'll say all of the ones that I've been like waking me up in the middle of the night, I'm like, that's brilliant. And then I'll like go on Apple Podcast. I'm like, cool, already taken. Like there was one. Kind of hit.
Every name is taken. Unless you do the Rachel LaForce and Alex Getlin show, I've looked. There's like a million.
Well, you know what? I looked. That one's already taken.
Okay. Anyway, do you want to finish this because there's something really exciting I want to bring up?
Yeah, I did want to finish. You just wanted me to just end it right there, huh?
No, keep going.
No, but the one that I loved was called Better Banter. Because we have
yeah.
decided this is really a conversational podcast,
Yeah.
right? That's really at the heart of what this is. And the idea is like opening up conversations with different people all across the board. But it's like, you want to kind of have like a niche to a certain extent, but also leave it open. And I was
Right.
like, oh, Better Banter. That's a great one. Better Banter is actually a wrestling podcast. If you can believe that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that. Well, the other
Neither
thing
me-
too,
neither would I.
we've been kind of drifting towards. So we love having guests on. Like last week, we had Marilyn Vance. Such a great episode. She's
Love
so
her.
she
She did The Rocketeer.
and we're gonna
She
have.
designed the costumes for The Rocketeer.
Yeah, I didn't know that movie, but that's
Joey, do you know The Rocketeer? That was before your time.
Yeah. But we also love our solo episodes. We have fun bits and stuff. So for now, we're going to kind of do more or less every other week. We'll have a guest on.
Solo Bits. Also a great name for a podcast.
Very good. But I want to jump into our first thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
This is exciting.
All right.
We had a pretty monumental Friday. On Friday, we finally...
Got our marriage license.
Yes. Okay. So we actually took some photos at the thing. That link I sent you, Joey, if you want to throw that up on the screen. I want to give a shout out to this organization we found. So
Well, it's not so much an organization, it's just
a small business.
very small business.
2 people.
Sheila and Sandy.
Yeah, so there's us guys.
Aw, oh my God,
we'll see it
we're
up in a
so
sec.
cute.
I know. So anyway, real quick. So
Oh my God, we're so cute.
I think you're biased, but I appreciate the love for us.
Well, no. I mean, one would think I'm normally like, ugh, I don't like that picture of myself. Ugh, why did I do like this? Why did I do like that? I think it's so cute. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to be a mom and dad,
I
y'all.
know. Look at us. So you can see that's us holding up our marriage license.
Oh
So
my
let
God.
me
If we had a golden retriever in that photo, I'd pass out. Too cute.
So real quick, so we were trying to get we're having a small intimate family ceremony in November.
Yep.
We have our own officiant, but we still needed to get the license. We were trying to deal with the courthouse. It was really annoying. And
Well, and by really annoying, you mean it just like hasn't been open.
Yeah.
They just straight up like, here's the best thing about the government, right? Is like the government is like the ultimate, just like Mariah Carey, whereas it was like, I don't want to do it, so I'm not. Like they just straight up shut down
Yeah.
in March.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, sorry, no thanks.
But we found this service, or I found it,
You did.
called Couple License.
Yep.
And they're not paying us to say this, but I cannot recommend them enough.
It was the most adorable, like lovely experience because I also feel like so many things that we have to do in life, especially when it comes to marriage or anything in dealing with legal documents, it feels like going to the DMV. It's exhausting. It's time consuming. There's nothing about it that's enjoyable. And this was a nice little drive out to Agora Hills.
Yeah.
For folks that are not in California, that's like near Calabasas, very like wooded and hilly, like just beautiful. And we arrive at like the end of this like dirt road to this like beautiful, 5 windows over the door, white traditional home. And we were greeted by these 2 just darling folks, Sheila and her husband Sandy.
Yeah. I don't
And-
remember the dog's name, but they had this cute dog.
Oh,
Big old fluffy golden retriever type.
he was
but-
very fluffy
All I got to say is they made the experience so lovely. They were,
and efficient.
and efficient and
Sheila walks you through everything. So it was like, here's all the documents you need. She's the notary, so she can do that right there.
Yeah.
Like told us exactly how to do everything. Like boom, in an envelope, even takes pictures of you, and away you go.
So if anybody is either getting married in Southern California or going to be here with stuff and you need a marriage license, couplelicense.com. They're great. You can look them up on all the social media accounts.
They're on Instagram, all that good stuff.
We absolutely endorse them.
Yes,
And they did not pay
100%.
us to say that. We just were
But
so...
we will take your money.
Yes. Let's get them more business.
Yes.
So they're big enough to
Yes.
get to then pay for a sponsor, which will be us. So it benefits everybody.
It'd be great.
Right.
Well, and it was so funny too because she was like, hey, like we're just starting this thing. And do you mind, like, could you, may I take a video of you and you can kind of like give us some feedback of, that you utilized us or whatever. And she was so sweet where it was like, obviously it's not a director. She didn't even necessarily know what she was asking for. And she was so sweet because obviously she didn't have to ask for that, right?
Right.
And just like anybody small, starting a business. I mean,
Yeah.
they're obviously very well established, these
Right.
two. But meaning this is a new endeavor for them, right? And so it was so sweet because, of course, Alex and I, the two like performers, were like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, what? Point and start." And it was so funny because she just goes, "Okay," and I was like, "Yeah, just tell us when." She goes, "Okay, when?" And Alex and I just instantly go into this dialogue. I was like, "Hi, I'm Rachel."
I wish I had saved that video to play right now.
Oh, I have the video on my phone.
Do you want to?
So we don't have it now, but yeah. Anyway, we'll put
I'll
it up.
drop it into a trailer.
Yeah. But it was so funny because it was like, "Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'm Alex. You know what? This year we thought maybe we weren't going to get married, and then we found couples license.
And let me tell you, Sheila made the whole process amazing.
Yeah,
I know, we're just like
it was so.
I think
easy.
she was in shock. She was like, "Oh,
she
you guys
really was." We got done, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, that was amazing."
And then we were both like, "We literally do this for a living."
Yeah, we're like, "Don't worry, we got you."
So that was cool.
It was.
And one other exciting update. So 2 episodes ago, we talked about the Lady and Lordship titles.
Yes.
And we were kind of, are we going to do this? Or are we not? I don't know. And it's a fun thing. I was a little on the fence. But then I saw something online that immediately put me in favor of getting the Lady and Lordship couples pack. And so, Joey, that other link that I sent you, if you want to click that, it's under number 2 in the email. You can pull that up, and we'll show the listeners in just a second here. And I got
Well, and I'll tell you what, people have been so responsive, and to the Lady and Lordship. And I put it up in my stories, and I was like, should we add this to our registry? And everybody across the board was like, 100%. So it is officially on our registry. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, hold on. Make it full screen and then start it over if you can. Yeah.
So yeah, I was like 100%. So I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there because I know some of you guys.
Wait, pause it. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, and then, Facebook's kind of... It's a Facebook video, so just hang with us, guys, for a second.
Some of you guys are, like actual... I mean, you're all friends of ours, but some of you are very close family friends, and I just want to let you know, if $90 is within the price range of what you were thinking for gifting us for our wedding, you are more than welcome to purchase us the Lady and Lordship.
We got to put it on our registry.
I already did.
Oh, you did?
I was working on our registry last night.
I know.
You're like, you're always on your phone. I was like, I'm doing our registry. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, let's be real. Those are all for you.
If you, just whatever you got to do. Let's.
I think it's far right.
AKA
Yeah.
Lord
here we go.
Snoop Dogg.
This is fine.
Want you to go get it now. 1 2 1 2.
Here, make it
It's your
full
boy,
screen,
Big
yeah.
Snoop D-O-double G, AKA the dog with it all. And I'd like to introduce the established titles. We offer title packs where clients can buy lordship, ladyship titles by buying a 1 square foot to 10 square foot land in Scotland. And Snoop Dogg, yes, AKA Lord Snoop Dogg, wants you to go get it now. Because 10 square land was purchased for me. You dig? Because I'm the Lord. So make sure you get on down there, man.
Okay, I
And
have
get
to
you
say a
some,
few
'cause
things.
these
First
offers,
of all,
they
we
going
don't have to listen to the whole thing,
Yeah,
right?
that's fine.
First of all, Snoop Dogg's like starting to age a little bit,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
he's
And
getting
then
up there.
It's like, but then also the fact that like he's officially a lord, and I love that they got him through Cameo.
Yeah, I know. That's the funniest part. If you're only listening, the video we watched, it has the Cameo insignia on the bottom. So that means they didn't even hire Snoop directly.
Yeah.
They went to Cameo and hired. So I guess that's a way that some celebrities, you can get them to endorse your stuff. You pay them through Cameo.
I guess, but also like established titles, we would also love to be your sponsor. You know what I mean?
That is true. You know, I tagged them in all of the clips I made of the thing, and they didn't.
I don't think they have much of a social media presence.
Yeah.
Because most brands that I tag for stuff will always like respond to a certain extent.
Yeah. Well, you know what we got to do? We got to get that couples pack, and then we got to get the Cameo as Alex and Rachel, and then they'll use us. Hey, this hilarious comedy duo podcast team.
I'm sure we're gonna be the ones that'll sell people on the look. You know what I would love though?
Not with that attitude.
Okay, here's what I would love is when you get the Lord and Lady ship,
Yeah.
as it were, that you would get a list of other people who are now lords and ladies. Because I feel like that's a mixer I would love to attend. Like,
That would be cool.
it would be just an absolute zoo. I mean,
Of course, it
what
would be
other
ridiculous.
grown ass adults
I wonder
have
what.
made themselves lords and ladies?
Well, the thing is, so with that one with Snoop, right? Clearly, like his team or established titles team just bought it for him and said, "Hey, just do this real quick." So like, technically, you could buy it for anyone and just be like, "Hey, FYI, you're now who do you love? Like Dan Levy, right? You could make him Lord Dan Levy and just send it to him and be like, by the way, this is a gift I got for you."
Yeah, I'm weird. I'm not that weird. I don't think I would do that.
Well, we'll see.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so should we buy this for our house? One of our favorite segments, of course, right? We always.
I really miss the music interludes. I got so
Oh,
used to them because I don't know if you guys are, if you're a loyal listener, you remember back when we were in Atlanta and we didn't have the studio. And so we would do everything off our Roadcaster. And so you would say the name of the segment and then you would push the sound cue.
Yeah.
I really miss the cues.
Well, Joey's doing a lot already. I don't want to throw sound cues in the mix, but maybe at some point, maybe. And the other,
Guys, shout out to our engineer, tried and true, straight from Chicago.
the other issue was like I found out some of the. So first, I was using music that I just like, right? And then I got flagged by YouTube and Spotify. It was like this is someone's copywritten music, right? What I really want to do is find musicians that I think are not that well known and amazing, and use their.
Did you ever hear back from Ma Baker?
I did not.
Right now, you guys, everybody go. Is it on Spotify?
It is.
This woman is insane. Like, if you like the Alabama Shakes, you will absolutely. Ma Baker.
To me, there's like a mixture of like Greta Van Fleet, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Lizzo, all kind of mixed together. We can't play it. I want to hear from her because if she owns her own music, we can get. And I want to get her on. But anyway, MA_BAKER.
Yeah, I want her to be my best friend. That's what I want.
She's got. I just found her music randomly. And that's how I know it's good, because when you and I really are like, whoa, then it's like there's like something there.
Well, I feel like we also I get so excited when we like an artist that we both love somebody to appreciate their music the same, because otherwise our musical taste is so vastly different. And we take so many road trips that it's like, how many times can we listen to Huey Lewis in the News? You know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
never too many times.
That's true.
I want to shout out, by the way, Luann Palmanson and Christopher Houston for chiming in and saying, what's up? We love you guys both for watching, so thank you so much.
Hey, guys.
As always. Chris, I know you're a music guy. Go look up Ma Baker on Spotify. MA_BAKER. She is amazing. And that actually is a very clean transition into this next segment for Should We Buy This for Our House? All right. So, you and I both love a good subscription service, right?
Oh, yeah.
We did some with the food. It was amazing.
And by some, you mean it's all we ate for about 4 weeks.
It was. But
that was the gift that kept on giving until I said, please, I would not like any more.
Sure, fine. But if anybody wants to get us a food subscription service like Blue Apron or Greenleaf or Green Chef or Dinnerly or all the ones we tried, we'll take it. We should put that on the registry.
I don't know. I can't. I was so overloaded with it that I feel like I'm spent.
So real quick. So this is something though. It's you know what? I said enough. Joey, can you play that first link? The one, I think it's a Facebook video. Yeah. Just pull that up for us. And
you're loving these Facebook vids.
Well, sometimes it's hard to find the video on YouTube, so I just pulled it off that. But here we go.
Oh, what is this?
Welcome to Vinyl. Vinyl is a monthly subscription box of curated records just for you,
cool.
based on your member profile and Spotify account. To begin, choose a vibe every month. Our essential vibes are predetermined, while our curated vibes are handpicked for you. Our curators dig through our collection of new vinyl to find albums that match your tastes. Then they write a personal note telling you why we chose those records. Start your membership today to receive your first box of records.
Yeah, so I think
the VO on that is terrible.
I know. Yeah, Vinyl, hire us to do better VO. But really just hire Rachel. She's good for that. So when you have a second, click that second link right under there.
Ready for your essential vibe? We've got everything you need to have a good time. See, Vinyl, that's it. That's all you needed. I'm for hire.
But look, I mean, it's not cheap, $40 a month, but it's 3 records.
Actually, that's very cheap because a record is like $25.
Right. And to me, see, you and I have talked when we have our dream home, when we're super rich and famous. So thank you guys for helping us get there. It would be so cool.
Yeah, here's what's frustrating, though, about hashtag manifestation, as it were, with hashtag Alex Ketlin, is that I'll bring up something to you, I'm like, hey, I really want us to start looking for houses in Topanga Canyon. That's where, and then Alex is like, too many fires.
Am I wrong?
I'm just saying, we're not going to pick up and buy, a $2.5 million home in Topanga Canyon tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I believe you.
All right.
My point is, I think it'd be so cool to have a room that's just for entertaining, something similar to that back deck in my parents' house.
Right.
Some really nice couches, a really decorative coffee table, and then we have a wall of records that we've collected, and we just because there's something very romantic about putting a record on versus playing off your playlist. There's there's something really cool about like putting the record and the needle on it, and it's kind
It's
of
tactile.
yeah. So I just thought this was cool. I think we should add it to the registry.
Well, you know what else you have to add to the registry?
A record player.
There we go.
But we can totally get one. This would inspire us.
Okay. Well, then I encourage you. You can send me the link for that and the link for a record player you want, and I will add it to our registry.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I will do that for the food services too.
Okay.
All right. We got one more. Should we buy this for our house?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this one, this is I don't know how I feel about this item. So vinyl I was excited about. This one this is one of those things where I think Tracy should give her commentary. So Joey, play that video for us. And then I just want to hear your thoughts if you make it full screen.
Hey, Emo. Emo. Turn the light on.
Emo is an AI desktop pet. He stays by your side to keep you company, to surprise you, just like a real pet.
Emo,
Wait, hold
take
on.
a picture.
What do you think?
Emo, what is the weather right now?
By the way, for the guys just listening, it's like a little miniature R2D2 looking robot that
You can set an alarm.
yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm just like, isn't that your phone?
But it has legs and winks at you.
Remember
It's
you
a
on
little
your
weird,
birthday.
right?
Ew, this is so creepy.
Okay, Joe, you can close it out. It's a little Black Mirror-ish, right? What do you think? What do you think?
I actually feel like it's antiquated.
Oh, interesting.
Like, I feel like there was something like that in the 90s.
Well, I remember Digipets or Gigapets.
Well, there were Gigapets, there was the Tamagotchi, there was all of those. Like, to me, I'm just kind
Chia
of
Pets.
like,
Remember those?
there is no...
Chia.
Yeah, those are still real. I just don't know... But like a Chia Pet's still like, isn't this funny? I'm so kitschy. You know who buys Chia Pets? The least interesting person at the office. That's the person who, when they're like, isn't this a fun, quirky gift?
What would you have thought if the first time you came over to my place, I had like a windowsill full of Chia Pets?
That would honestly make sense.
What?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, because you don't have any hair anymore.
Oh, and I was compensating by growing Chia Pets?
Yeah, I mean, that was just a really bad joke.
Yeah.
But,
It was.
I mean, I feel like Chia Pets are actually like kind of cool. I mean, what a weird. Also, though, like for somebody who doesn't really have a green thumb, I can tell that you want me to move back to the emo.
No,
pet.
no, you can keep going. Well, finish. You're not into it. I thought you would have more.
No, I think it's weird. I think, I mean, also a cool sidekick, a small robot, and a versatile helper with its own unique personality. Like, I'm like, who's going to pay for that? Like, we have our
Yeah.
phone to do all of those same things. I don't know. I feel like it's just like kind of antiquated at this
That's a good point. I guess because they were banking on it has little legs and it walks around and like interacts with you. Okay,
All
well,
right.
Chia Pets.
Sorry, I had so many responses to that. I'm just like,
Okay, well, we're going to move on.
All right.
Because this is a spin-off segment. Not should we buy this for our house, but should we buy this for our wedding? It is a wedding-specific item that I have discovered. I guess it's for any celebration of sorts. But Joey, can you click that first link that I sent?
Is this a bouncy house?
It is not.
Remember, because I said, can we get a bouncy house? And
Yeah.
you said absolutely not.
So what do you think of this?
What is this?
Yeah, can you play the video? I think they're... watch tutorial, yeah.
Tutorial?
That's
Okay,
fine.
so you guys can't see what's happening. I'm trying to digest it. She's putting a phone in a tube, and this tube is going in the middle of a cake?
Just wait. Yeah, the people just listening. So yeah. There's a cake on top of a stand, and there's a giant hollow tube. And then it'll make sense in a second, Rachel. Just hang tight here. And then you push a button, and voila! An item pops out of the cake. It's a surprise cake.
How expensive is that?
I don't know. Okay, you can close this video. We get the idea now.
What
Yeah.
if somebody just put divorce papers in it?
Wait, Joey, let's
Talk about a surprise cake. You know what I mean?
go click on shop. Let's see how expensive it is. So it's literally called surprise cake, and you put something in the stand and it pops out and surprises you.
Okay, it's not as expensive as I thought.
What does that say?
$36.99 for the popping cake stand. Then there's a music box trigger. That sounds like something you'd read about on the internet.
What do you think? I mean, I know the joke's out now, but it will be kind of fun if we don't tell people what's in the surprise cake. We come up with a great surprise for our guests.
I mean, but what could it possibly be?
Well, that's the trick. We're creatives. We got to come up with something. I know I'm doing a bit right now, kind of, but like if you were a little
Shocker.
if you were a little kid and you saw this,
if and when we have kids, or not if, when we have kids, I think that would be like a fun thing.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine.
Have you made a decision? I'm sorry, have I imagined what?
I'm just saying, imagine if you were a little kid, like you had your favorite toy that could fit in this tube, like a Barbie or something, right? And then you open your cake and it's like, surprise.
Yeah, I would have lost my mind.
So
I was an insane child.
you're an insane adult too.
Well, that's
sometimes.
true,
So what were you asking me?
Have you made any final choices of how you feel about gender reveal parties? I mean, now they're like, they're toast, literally, because it, burnt a whole town down.
I'm indifferent. I think they're kind of dumb, but if it's
I just don't know when everybody decided that they were so important that everything had to have a party.
well,
Do you know what I mean? Like now when someone's like, well, I don't know, like I think we're going to have a gender reveal. It's like, what? How come were you so like indignant that you just think that like
Social
everybody
media.
wants to know everything about you? I know,
it's-
but think about the amount of parties. Like this time around, like with a wedding, right? And I'm not very traditional. My maid of honor is much more traditional. Like she was a sorority girl, and like
Right.
she is much more invested in a lot of the things that like I don't really care for, right?
Sure.
But it's been nice because she's kind of reminding me of like, well, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? But it's like the amount of parties. Like there are engagement parties. Then there's stock the bar parties, which is when you invite people over to bring you booze to stock your bar. Okay.
you don't even drink.
Then, no, I know.
You know, it would be great to stock the record collection party.
Okay.
Get the-
Then there's like the wedding, right? And then then bachelor and bachelorette parties, and then there's like a lingerie party. Like sometimes they do those separate where just like your friends will
Yeah.
come and like bring you lingerie.
Those
right?
are weird.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was another thing where she was like, "Do you want people to, I'm like, I mean, a lot of the women that are coming to my bachelorette party are like friends of mine. I've like begun to like really kind of cultivate and like build a community. And I'm like, it's not like my like best girlfriends from like growing up, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Who know every iteration of me. I'm like, I don't know. It feels very bizarre. Like, especially right now to be like, hey, do you want, I don't know. I was just like, I
I get
don't think the way in which I know these women, I don't know. I
I see what you're saying.
there was just so many things, I guess, about this like traditional idea, and maybe it's simply because I'm somebody where I'm like, and now as we're building this day together, or mostly it's me figuring out what it is that I want, and then being like, hey, are you cool with this? And you're like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But
it.
all of these things that we're like, putting together for the day, I'm like, I think we're actually going to end up having like a really, really fun weekend. It's not what I thought it was going to look like. It's not even who I all thought was going to be there. Like, it's definitely
for the record, everybody coming, we're stoked you're going to be there.
Oh yeah, no, but I just mean that like
But I
we
know-
went from 200 people to 25. That's what I mean.
I just wanted to clarify because it sounded like you were like, oh, and all these losers are coming, like mom and dad.
No. I'm stoked for them. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
And I think because the intimacy of the day, it's going to be so much greater, et cetera, all these things. But I think it's crazy that, and I've talked about this before where it's just like, it's the best day of your life. It's the best. And like all of this stuff, I'm like, gosh, no wonder people would get married and then hit this like huge, almost like postpartum, like in a way where it's like there's all this buildup and then all
Right.
the fanfare goes away and it's like, cool, now you're just like stuck with this person. You know what I mean? Like people aren't showing up at your house with gifts. But then you have the baby, and then it's like baby shower. Then you got to go to the other side of the family, another baby shower, and then these gender reveals, and then there's a sip and see.
What
you
is
know about
that?
this?
No.
It's people come over and they bring booze to your house, and they sip and they see your baby.
Who invents these things?
Sad people. I don't know. I think, and I know there's some people listening right now that are gonna be like, "Hey, I did a see it, sip and see or whatever."
What happened to just like saying hello to your friend?
That's
like,
how
does
I
it
feel.
need to be a thing?
Why does everything have like? But to me, and on like not from a joke, but like on a real standpoint, it's like, what is there? Why can we not just show up for our friends?
You know what? And that's my issue. Like to your point, right? It's like if my buddy, a lot of our friends have kids now. My buddy was like, "Hey man, I haven't seen you in a while. Why don't you come over? I'll get us some beers. We'll hang out, and you'll like meet my cute little daughter." I'll be like, "That sounds great." If it was like,
Sorry, just imagine a sketch now where you were duped into going to a sip and see.
well, then
That's very funny.
if I
to me.
showed up and it was this like huge event,
Fanfare, right.
I'd be like, "What the fuck, man? Like I just wanted us to like hang out and like
Yeah.
connect." And now it's like it's a whole presentation.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess, I mean, it's also, listen, it's also to each their own. That's another thing that I'm actually trying to believe for myself because I
Yeah.
feel like for somebody who's always like, I'm such an empath, I'm also so quick to be like, ugh, I don't like those people. Like, it's just like, it's so
I know.
polarizing, like how quickly I'm like, idiot.
Let me throw you an idea though.
Okay.
How about instead of a sip and see, a chew and stew? You chew on some edibles and stew on some tough. Joey
Okay,
likes it.
Joey is
You-
laughing.
I don't know if you guys can hear, but Joey, our
and then
engineer.
he just shook his head like, no,
No, it's like, come on, a chew and stew. You chew on some edibles, you stew on some tough topics that you think of.
Isn't that just the podcast you have? That's what you should have rebranded it as.
Chew and stew. All right. Anyway, so that's it for Should We Buy This for Our Wedding? There's another link for that item, but that pretty much covered it. So we've got a few things left. These are some good ones though. I got 3 stories this week for Rachel Learns the News.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing that this week.
Yeah, I brought it back.
Okay.
All right, there's some good ones here. So this one is very funny. There's a video here. So, I'll preface with saying this is a funny story, but there's been a lot of like really tense police-related stuff in the news, which of course is totally valid. But here's just a purely funny video involving the cops. So why don't you wait, Joe? Can you pause that real quick? Yeah, pause that video, and then we're gonna play it. But wait, why don't you read that headline for us, Rachel?
Also, like, what clickbait? Woman accused of driving while high on pot allegedly does some dancing after pulled over.
After getting pulled over. Oh, after pulled over. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
And then
also,
you're-
I think the person was high on pot who wrote the tag for
Wait,
this.
can you make that full screen and play the video with audio? Because it's really funny. I don't want to oversell it. Now I made it too. But, it's pretty good.
So she's dancing. Yeah, okay. Oh, look at that old guy. Wow. He's got some miles on him.
I know. I remember, like, being an old school newscaster.
No.
I'm just saying when those guys are relevant.
A woman accused of driving high,
All
but
right.
apparently she wasn't going to let the police ruin her good time.
Step to your left. Stop. Put your hands up.
Why are you
Face
screaming?
away from me. Step to your left. One more time. Step back. Keep your hands up. Step back. Keep coming until I tell you to stop. Stop.
All right, you can close
Well,
it
that's
out now.
Megan Gaddis. Police
I
say
mean, I
they
feel like that's
initially
a
pulled her
little,
over
like,
because
she wasn't
was
quite dancing. I feel like that's a little bit of a thing. But also, what was she doing? Why were they screaming at her?
I don't know. Because they were scared. I don't know.
They were scared.
I'm not.
They were scared of that woman in like a kitten heel.
To assert their authority.
Oh, please.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Ugh, beat it.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
video was funny. So if you guys were just listening, just Google that headline.
That's so funny. I don't know, though, why anybody, I don't even know if I should tell this story.
Tell it.
I guess there's enough years have passed. So the one thing that I was always, like, my mom was always so good about was like,
Oh yeah. I this.
never, ever, ever, ever drive like under the influence, like, and that was always like very real to me. Not of like, I'm gonna do what I want to
It's a
do.
good rule.
I mean, not that I was ever a rebel to begin with, I was the friend where my friends would lie and say they were with me because then their parents thought they weren't doing anything wrong. If that tells you anything about me.
You know what you would be? You know that phrase, rebel with a cause?
Yeah.
You'd be rebel with a pause. Because
Oh,
you'd want to rebel, but you'd pause because you're too anxious and you wouldn't actually go through with it.
I know. Well, I think it's that, and I'm an only child. So there was
Right.
never, my parents weren't distracted. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was just me. So
Right.
there was nobody else to like, And then because my parents were divorced, I feel like they were even more like conscientious of like, we're not going to let her get away with anything. Like I'd get in trouble with my mom. So my mom would be like, we're calling your dad, you know?
yeah.
And then we'd have to have all these. I think I had more family meetings than like any like nuclear family. Do you understand?
Yeah,
like
two single parents.
Yes, there was.
You were
so
the
much-
only child, but you had such a unique situation because a lot of times when people get divorced, they remarry, have other kids, have other step kids. Well, you do have step siblings, but they didn't come into
but
your
not until I was 18.
right. So you didn't grow up with
They're
them.
like law. I mean,
Yeah.
I like them, but I'm just saying like there's not like we
no,
didn't.
no, I know. Yeah. So yeah, you really were just the center of attention for
Ever.
yeah.
And that's like I was thinking
And
about
now
that
you're mine,
recently, where it's
and I deal with it.
like, I
And
know,
that's been fun.
but it's okay. Wow.
No, it's usually good. It's 95% great and 5%. What is going on here?
I don't know, but 95% what is going on
Yeah.
here. Well, I mean, you're not necessarily walking the park. I feel like we complement each other.
Okay. So do you want to finish the story about your mom, or should we go to the next article?
So anyway, the whole point being where it was like I was so good about like I just knew the very real consequences of
Yeah.
those things, right? One time I got high and thought that I was going to be able to drive. Because
Yeah.
so many people I knew were like, oh, I love like getting high and driving, dude. It's like so chill, bro. You know, which I knew I'm like,
Terrible idea.
There's no way that I'm going to think that that's chill or
Right.
cool. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it was myself, and not to out anybody. Hi, Caitlin. And it was Caitlin and I. And we pulled up to a light, and I remember it clear as day that we're sitting there. And for a moment, I pause and I just go, just confirming, when it turns green, I go. And she goes, yep. And it was like in that moment where I was like, I do not need to be doing this.
How
And,
old were
like,
you, roughly?
Probably 17.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
you were young,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait till we have a daughter.
Like, well, I mean, that was like one story. I'm
No,
not
I
saying it
know.
was great.
Listen,
and like,
I did plenty of nonsense when I was a
I
kid,
safely
but I
got
don't want to
home.
out myself on the podcast.
but
so-
just, well, that's, that's like the worst story
I
I
know.
have,
yeah. Okay, let's go to the next article.
Okay.
This one's pretty good. They're all good. I might only do these two because we don't have a ton of time.
Well, we got to talk about these sexy dragons.
I know. Well, don't spoil it.
Oh, well, there we go. Teaser.
All right. We'll do one more Rachel Learns the News, and then we'll end with our last segment. And then, yeah, that'll be it for this week. How you feel about that?
I feel pretty good about it.
This is
Sorry,
fun.
my mom is simultaneously texting me.
Well,
Mom,
she
you
should
should
be-
be watching the podcast.
I know, right?
But I'm coming to visit her. She's getting
So
excited.
check out this headline.
Son sells 28 years of birthday whiskey to buy first home. Wow.
Yeah. So scroll down a bit. We'll read a little bit of this article here.
So his parents like gifted him. Look at these just handsome Southern men.
I know.
Are
right?
they from the South? They've got to be.
Maybe scroll down. I think there's where does the article start? Maybe right there.
Well, I mean, I feel like calling it an article is a little bit generous. Oh, well, it's from the BBC.
They're British.
Okay.
There we go.
So, yeah, all right. So, anyway, the whole point. Okay, so, yeah, so each year I received it as a birthday present, Matthew said. I thought it was quite a quirky little present as I was slightly too young to start drinking. But I was under strict instructions never to open them. And I tried my hardest and succeeded, and they're all intact. Who speaks like that? His father,
British
Pete,
people apparently.
who was in Scotland. Hey, Scotland, we own a piece of that. Said, wow, yeah, it was the first bottles in 1974 whiskey was bought to wet the baby's head. I don't know what that means. I thought it would be interesting if I bought one every year and he'd end up with 18 bottles of 18-year-old whiskey for his 18th birthday. It wasn't the only present he got from us. It was just, I love that Dad was like, let me be clear. So he had all this Macallan and just
Yeah.
like sold it all and then bought a house.
What a great investment, right? I mean,
Well, I feel like that's an easy way to like save up over time.
just buy really old Macallan. Like I think it's Macallan 18. Yeah. But what a
It's so weird because a peat whiskey is the only thing that I can still so clearly taste.
Hmm.
Like you could say it right now and like the back of my glands will salivate.
I like Jameson. I know that's not the same thing, but it's an Irish whiskey.
Yeah, I mean Jameson is not at all of the same caliber, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean I can still taste Jameson too. I honestly might still have it in my system. I mean the fact
You've been sober like 3 years.
I know. Thank you. Hold the
Two?
applause.
Two.
Hold the applause.
2 or 3.
It'll be 3 years in January.
Yeah.
But
We got to celebrate with like some water and edibles or something.
I mean, I guess. Sure. I mean, it's honestly so crazy to me that it's almost like 3 years' time. That's so insane.
Time flies.
Just 3 years is a long time for like to not do anything every day. You know what I mean?
What do you, oh, for a second I thought you were saying you took 3 years and did nothing with your life.
No.
was
I
like,
would
what?
say I've really done a lot in the past
Yeah.
3 years. I'm tired all of the time. Do you understand?
Yeah, man. Well, the thing for us that it's really taking my body and my mind, really my brain, like a bit to adjust is like, because we have so much, we have so much momentum growing with all these things. Our projects are getting a lot of heat, and that's great. And we're working really hard, but we don't yet have enough financial like slush money to hire people to do the extra stuff that needs to get done.
Well, what I just keep hearing is like a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Because it's like that. Do you remember, Joey, you might remember this too. If you guys ever went to a Dave & Buster's, shout out DB's, I used to go because that's where my dad would take me after church on Sundays.
Like as a reward for going to church?
Well, no, just because like that was what, it's what we did.
Just
and
you and Bert.
Yeah, we'd go and get chicken fingers and walk around and play some games and go home.
God, your dad. I mean, what? He's going to crush as a grandpa.
I mean, my mom will be so excited, but I know when I call my
And
mom
Bob
and I'll
Early.
be like, I'm pregnant. And she'll be like, I knew it, honey. I knew it. That's just because that's my mom. She'll be like, I had a dream and I knew it. I knew it. All right. Okay. I got to go. Call me later. Excited for you. That's what she'll say. But when I tell my dad, like, that is what I'm like the most excited about when it comes to
You know
letting
what?
people know.
That would be a great use for the surprise cake, right? Is we get the surprise cake and we, come over to celebrate whatever. We'll find some holiday that it lines up with. And it's
Sure.
like, and you'd be like, hey, Dad, by the way, there's a little button on this cake and it pops out and then it's like world's best grandpa
Yeah.
and like a thing in there.
That'd be fun.
I mean, hopefully he doesn't hear this episode and then he'll know the bit, but
Well, luckily for us, I don't think he's ever listened to it. I think my dad just doesn't understand podcasts.
Right.
Because I feel like when I was like, yeah, why don't you like watch? Because sometimes I'm like, I don't know, like our politics are kind of different. I don't know if he, like it would
Right.
be like frustrating for him
your
or
dad's
something.
not a social media
And
guy.
I'm like, no. Well, he also like now getting older and understanding how tired I am, and now being like, oh, my dad's twice my age and works in 100-degree heat building luxury homes.
yeah.
I get it. Like
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh, I get it. You
Right.
know? Like, oh, he's got to be so tired. Anyway, I was going to say something else and now I've forgotten what it is, but it was probably just about Jameson. And I forgot many things I said while I was
Well,
on
I've been
Jameson.
trying to find all funny and happy news.
Oh, sweet.
Well, the world's on fire still.
This is
I mean,
true.
our state is literally on fire in every direction.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've found now, in the beginning of COVID, and I would email people, within the entertainment industry for stuff, and it would be like, oh, I hope this finds you well, right? And it was like a very kind of flowery thing. Now I'm signing off emails of like, hopefully talk to you soon. If not, no problem, because like the world's a hellscape. Love you, bye. Like we're all so conditioned to it now. I'm not
Well,
protecting anyone's feelings. Like now I'm just like, well, it's been a hellscape. See you in 2021.
Think about how quickly we made that transition. Remember, like the end of March, pretty much all of April, a good chunk of May, we were like, we're getting through it. It's scary, it's tough, and then I think it all turned into like, yeah, fuck this. I just enough. We're done. We're over it. We don't want to do it anymore. Stop.
Well, and the bummer is, I think that comes more because it was so politicized. I think had we had a better leader in place.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter Democrat or Republican, but I think somebody who was about creating a unified country.
Right.
If we had somebody who was leading us that way, I think everybody's opinion about COVID would be vastly different. I genuinely believe that. I think that people would be more like this idea of like, we've all done it together. Isn't this great? We all protected each other. We got through it. I really think that would be much more of the narrative than what it is now, which is just like,
Yeah, there's a lot I could say, but I want to move on to the next. But
okay. Yeah, you can talk about it on your podcast, Chew and Stew.
Okay. On that note, that's been house. No, we have one
I
more.
just want to note that Joey laughed at that, okay?
Yeah. I know. Joey's like our barometer of like what's good and what's not.
It's true, Joey. We'll go home and like recap and be like, remember when Joey like laughed at this thing? I'm like, I do.
Yeah, we have a live studio audience with
It's
one
true.
person who's also running the show on the tech side.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so our last segment we're going to jump into. Okay, so you a little bit, mostly me. I'm on this app called Stereo, And I've talked about it before. It's kind of like this cool new app where you can kind of do live podcasting. People can call in. It's sort of fun. So I get on there and I'm talking to different folks, but you and I did a chat on Stereo. And the way Stereo works, you don't see anyone's face. You have a little cartoon avatar of yourself. And it sort of is
Do we have a picture of your avatar?
No, I took a video snippet. We're going to play it in a second.
Oh, okay.
So you and I are talking. We both had our little like good evening, end of the night relaxation cannabis.
Okay, I was like, that sounds very weird.
I don't
right?
know. Yeah.
Joey's laughing
We
again.
had, we had some end of the night cannabis to relax and unwind, and we love our brains going to wacky places. And I don't remember what the conversation was exactly.
Well, because normally if I utilize cannabis, it's in like as a form of medicine. So there's two different strands, predominantly. Wow. We're gonna get there together. One is sativa, which is like it's normally for your creative brain. It kind of like keeps you going, right? A lot of people with ADD and ADHD take it, etc. But it gets me too riled up. I want an indica, right? And like the nickname for that is like Indicouch, right? So it like knocks you out. So I like that. It mellows out my brain and allows me to fall asleep. So I'll take that and melatonin, a little bit of magnesium. I'm out. I sleep through the night, right? Because, yes, it takes that many things for me to get my brain to stop working. When I said it out loud, I'm like, wow, that's a lot. And I know somebody's going to message me and go, do you meditate? Yes, I do. I meditate. I work out. I run. I journal. I go to therapy.
You drink a ton of water.
I do everything I possibly can. That is the only thing I found that is natural enough that allows me to sleep and recharge. So, but the cannabis that Alex has right now is a hybrid.
It's called Skywalker OG. That's the name. I didn't name it.
Can't even believe that you said that out loud. And
there's a fun game. I don't remember who made it up, but it's like a ton of people do it. And you like, it's called Weed Strain or SoundCloud Rapper.
Funny.
And you hear the name and you have to guess.
That feels like a good late night, like what I used to write for or make packets for late night shows.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's a couch segment we can do? That sounds like one.
So we had our...
I used to do celebrity baby name or Wi-Fi network.
So we had, that's funny. We had our good night Skywalker OG Cannabis. We were talking on stereo. I was in the other room. So that way our mics didn't hear each other because it's sort of like a live broadcasting app. And then you mentioned something. You were trying to remember the name of Game of Thrones. Because I remember you were talking about something. You're like, what's that show, Hot Girl with the Dragon? And you were trying to think of Game of Thrones. And so I was like, for some reason, I Googled Hot Girl with the Dragon. And it took me to this hilarious thing. So, Joey, I sent you that video clip. If you could play this. Here's a little 1-minute sample of our stereo chat. Just because it's kind of funny to see it. And if you want to follow us on stereo, you can see us there. But so check this out real quick. Yeah. Is it?
Well, I typed "hot girl with the dragon" on. This is weird. Oh my god. This
God.
okay. I typed.
Freely
Hold on.
in your phone.
I typed "hot girl with a dragon" on Google, and then it took me to Amazon, and there's a book, literally a book called "Hot Dragon Girls," and it's like sexy dragons in lingerie. I'm not kidding. It's so weird. What is this?
Wait. You can't just say that sentence and then move on. It's
Hold on.
It's dragon.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna mute mine, so I'm gonna come in there and show you, okay? And you can announce it on the thing.
Okay, and then this is how we have to close out the podcast. There's no way that you come. Oh my God, it is. That's exactly. Wow. One of them is tan lines. This.
Okay.
So at that exact moment was when. So again, Alex and I had been in separate rooms. He mutes his mic. Comes in the room, shows me what he's looking at, and my life has changed forever. And now we're going to share that image with you.
So, Joe, can you click that last link I sent you? So this is a real thing. So if you Google hot dragon girls, it will take, and again, this is just we're not endorsing this. It's just something we found on the internet. But if you Google hot dragon girls, click the book cover, make it full screen if you can.
Also, there's 4 generations of this book. 4 different. So this is the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
You can also find it the Kindle for $2.99.
Right. There we go. So
Oh
it's
my
called
gosh.
Hot Dragon Girls. And I guess the image isn't opening. It's okay.
Suran and Aura, Two young females from the world of dragons are thrilled to be a part of the student exchange program to attend college on the human world of Earth. But when they unexpectedly go into their mating heat, they are forced to turn to their one real human friend for help. Okay? So this whole thing is about this one human boy named Jericho who helps these two hot dragon girls through their horny season. So these two guys, Paul Lucas and Jonathan Smoot, okay, made multiple versions of basically their fantasy of having sex with not only one, but two dragon ladies.
Wait,
okay?
Go down where it says number 1. I want to see if there's a way we can get this image big because it's just so preposterous. Right? Yeah, click see if it makes it like a large image.
Can you just click the image, Joey? Oh, I see.
Wait, scroll.
Go to cover.
Hit the cover. Right there.
No, down. Do you see where my finger is?
There we go.
Boom, baby.
Guys, look at this.
Hot girl dragons.
No, it's hot dragon girls.
All right, well.
It's okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they're wearing lingerie.
I mean, their boobs are ginormous. Like, that is hilarious. And also the fact that, like, they're even fetishized, that, like, one, not only are they both in lingerie, and, like, one is, like, the sex color, the other, the sex collar, and then, like, the other one has this, like, French maid outfit on with a feather duster. Like, this is insane.
I just,
I honestly, though, I want to buy it, and I want to do a live stage reading. Because there's nothing funnier to me than comics reading out this book. That is so funny to me.
It's only a few bucks. I guess we could.
It's $2.99 for the Kindle version.
What would Tracy say about this book?
This is like, when you're sometimes y'all know I love y'all know I'm a God-fearing woman. I love Jesus. And, it's sometimes in my girlfriends, and they're like, oh, I'm worried because my kids are reading this or that. And I'm like, y'all, we live in a secular world. If I saw my son reading this, y'all, we'd be having some conversations. Okay? Do y'all know what I mean? But honestly though, for a second, like, could you imagine of all the things that I could think of and all the things that would scare me if I found my son reading?
I would be more upset at this than regular porn.
I wouldn't even know how to approach it. Do you know what I mean? I'd have to go and go.
We also want to be clear here. We don't judge anyone on this show for their sexual preferences in any capacity whatsoever. Well, I was going to say with an asterisk, if it's about fictional dragons, and here's the other thing, they're underage. They're in high school.
I know.
That's even weirder.
That's what's disgusting. Also, nobody has boobs like that in high school. Second of all, or horns like that. Here's the other thing. The only way that you could address this to your kid, if you found this, would be to put it in that surprise cake and pop it open. That would be the only way to be like, here's what we got to talk about as a family. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
But also I love that, like, somebody took the time and, like, drew this image. It's so specific.
Yeah, I think that was Jonathan Smoot. I'm just going to assume that was him up there too.
I'm going to hope so. Well, the other thing is, and we'll say as we close out here, is we were thinking about continuing these stereo talks.
Yes.
And releasing them as kind of unfiltered, for now it would be House Rules Unfiltered.
Yeah.
Just to kind of hear us, talk, which is like what we do here. So we were thinking about that.
Well, I have a great idea.
Okay.
Because you're going to be away from me for the first time in who knows how long. You're going to visit your mom because
Yep.
getting inducted to her high school Hall of Fame.
Yep. Do you know who's leading the Masters of Ceremonies?
Tell us.
Tracy.
How's that going to go?
I think I'm so excited. Y'all have aged so well. I don't even recognize y'all. I know y'all don't recognize me. You don't even remember going to high school with me.
So when you're in Cleveland, if you have the time, we could do a stereo chat.
Okay.
But yeah, so just one more thing on that note. So I'll just say, like I said before, Stereos is a really cool app. We're both on it. And it's like doing a live podcast. People can call in during the show. So you guys can be part of the chat. So if you listen to our stereo talk, you can literally call in like, old school radio, but it's live on your phone. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on it yet, but it was really fun to talk to you. I did really enjoy that. Mostly I enjoyed...
paying me to be on the app as an official
I'm
verified
sorry.
creator. I'm trying to build up the app.
I'm
So
sorry.
it's successful.
I'm
So
sorry.
my profile grows and they keep paying me.
Well,
to
can we just talk about the fact that you got to create your own avatar and you gave yourself a crown?
and AirPods.
I mean, I've never been like, is that the personification of you? Like, I just was like, oh my God. In that moment, I was like, I'm actually living with 20-year-old Alex.
But to be fair, I would not. We talked about this. I have no desire to be a king. Like if it was offered to me, too much pressure. I would for
if
sure.
it was offered to you,
Yeah.
like somebody would go, you know what? We need to rethink this whole regal thing. Who's somebody we could? Oh, I know. Hi, excuse me, Mr. Alex Getland. We're wondering if you would like to be the King of England.
Why of England? I just meant of everything.
Oh my God.
I just wouldn't want to deal with all the complaints, you know, and I wouldn't.
You would crumble. You wouldn't even, I mean, first of all, Joey's losing his mind over this. The fact that you even had enough filters in your brain to think about, not only does the thought of being a king give you anxiety,
Yeah.
but the thought of somebody asking you.
Right.
Of what would you say?
'Cause then
How
they're-
would you process it?
Because like, King, what do we do about this? What do you do about dude? I don't know, man. I just want to tell jokes. Like, I don't want to be the king, and I would say the jester, but that's a shitty job. Like what it
You
actually
couldn't
was.
handle that either.
Too much pressure. You don't make the king laugh. I mean, a one-person audience? No thanks.
Well, especially I feel like he's a very fickle audience. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But they were the first comedians, I guess, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right. Well, that was Hot Dragon Girls. We are probably going to buy the Kindle version and do a reading of some kind.
For sure.
We could do it on stereo.
It's better if you got to be able to see everybody.
Yeah,
I
but-
know you're still pushing this app.
I have an idea. I actually have a great idea. Okay. 'Cause-
I'll be the judge of that.
So you know that we're going to be on the road for a few weeks during our honeymoon. We're not going to be having live podcasts. We're going to pre-record them
Yep.
and then release them every Monday during that window.
Yep.
What if we did one where we do a live reading of Dragon Girls as the podcast?
I
that
mean,
week?
I feel like the only way to come back to live stage performance, I want to spend my first time back on stage just reading an excerpt from this. I feel like there's
Well, you
nothing
do-
else, all the jokes I could possibly tell you. I don't think there's more I could do than just read you part of this book.
You do have a deposit paid on a theater here for a performance that was canceled because of COVID.
That's true.
So when it resumes, we could do that for Hot Dragon Girls.
Yep, I think that's definitely the best use of my money and time.
Okay, well, on that note, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Any final thoughts, Rachel?
No, I think that was it, guys. I do want to come to you and me. Listen up, wherever
no.
you are. No, I think so. We are doing this rebrand. We are figuring out, as we go along. We know kind of like what works, what you guys are liking, what you're not. And so honestly, I think it's maybe something where I'm like, send me your feedback in the same way of sometimes there's a podcast I listen to or whatever, and they're like, send us your feedback. And it's like, I'm not going to do that. They're not going to hear it. Please do send it to me. Let me know. And some of you have reached out. But definitely what things do you like? What do you not like? What are you attracted to? And then in regards to the rebrand, yeah, if you think that you've come up with the best name, you're like, oh man, they got to use this thing,
We will give you
Two peas in a podcast.
a little corny. I don't hate it, but it's too cheesy for us.
Okay.
Okay, all right. On that
I
note,
never would actually. I hate when you do that. When I pitch you something that's totally a joke and you take it so seriously.
Well, because it actually isn't the worst name, but it's not good for us.
I mean, yeah, maybe if it was you know who would be good for? An agriculture podcast.
Okay,
You know what I
guys.
mean?
We've been house rules for now. I'm Alex Gatlin.
I'm Rachel LaForce.
We will see you next week.